There are many reasons why it makes sense to work safe. To prevent injury and to prevent higher costs are reasons we hear most of the time. But have we ever considered all the consequences, especially when it comes to not following government rules and regulations? Joining us now is Chris Grief with Saskatchewan's Occupational Health and Safety Office to help us understand the rules. Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Thanks, Jason.
So what's new this year that anyone digging around infrastructure or working near overhead lines needs to be aware of?
It's really important that employers know about the prime contractor rules. These apply to the construction, forestry, and oil and gas industries. The owner can appoint a prime contractor or will assume this responsibility on certain multi-employer work sites. They have to coordinate the safety for all workers on that site. Before work begins, the prime contractor must develop a written safety plan to coordinate activities on the work site. They ensure that policies, procedures, and safe work practices are followed. While work is in progress, the prime contractor designates a person to oversee safety and ensure everyone complies with the written plan. Employers working on site need to notify the prime contractor of any changes that could impact safety. There are many things to consider when deciding if a prime contractor is required. Please check the regulations or call us to determine if you need one.
I understand there are provincial and federal requirements and approvals. How do I know when each apply, and how do I get the right information in either situation?
Most workplaces in the province are provincially regulated, but sometimes it's not always clear. It's the employer's duty to know which regulations, federal or provincial, apply to them. For example, provincial regulations require you to notify us when you are going to excavate or trench more than 5 meters deep if anyone will be working in the trench. If you're unsure, you can always call us at 1-800-567-7233 or our federal counterparts at 1-800-641-4049.
Other than giving you a call, Chris, where else can I go to get the latest regulations?
Absolutely, Jason. You can visit Saskatchewan.ca and do a search for the Saskatchewan Employment Act or OH&S regulations, or call us with specific questions. We will try to direct you to the appropriate regulation or safety association. Please keep in mind it can be difficult to provide an interpretation without attending the worksite.
So what are those real consequences if contractors or members of the public don't follow these rules?
The most real consequence of not following the regulations is that it puts yourself and others at risk of injury or worse. Workplace injuries are preventable. The laws are there to ensure minimum standards are in place to protect everyone while at work. To ensure those standards are met, we support workplace occupational health committees and conduct inspections. If someone is not in compliance, we have a few options. We can get the employer to enter a compliance undertaking, which is a written agreement that they will take corrective action in a set amount of time. We can issue a notice of contravention, which is a legal order to correct the contraventions found. We can issue a stop work order if we identify a serious risk. Some officers can issue summary offense tickets, which are similar to speeding tickets, and can be issued on the spot to employers and even to workers. Another option is to put forward a recommendation for prosecution. Prosecutions are handled by the Ministry of Justice and are dealt with in our provincial courts. Maximum fines for incidents causing serious injury or death are $500,000 for an individual and $1.5 million for a corporation, the highest in Canada.
Chris, people see the occupational health and safety officer walking over to their work site and they get concerned and nervous right away. I'm sure you're a great guy. How do you want to be perceived when you show up on site?
I think I'm a good guy too. Our role at Occupational Health and Safety is to regulate and enforce OH&S laws and to promote best safe work practices. Our goal is mission zero, so zero workplace injuries, zero fatalities, zero suffering. We are all responsible for safe and healthy workplaces. That includes myself. My job is to enforce regulations to help employers ensure that minimum standards are being met. When I come to your worksite, please know that I'm here to educate and promote safety. Please ask questions, and when I ask you questions, give honest answers. That is how we identify and correct hazards.
Thank you for this today, Chris.
What if the mission was zero? What if the mission was zero? Zero injuries, zero fatalities, zero suffering. Make zero your mission.